Ranking all Beatles songs, up to number 21, She's Leaving Home. This is a beautifully sad song, just an absolutely gorgeous song with the arrangements, but also extremely sad at the same time. The girl runs away from home. Apparently she's in her late teens. The song does say love is the one thing that money can't buy. So it could be about how the parents are trying to give her everything with money and not spending enough time with her. But it's obviously a very sad song, but it's so poignant. Just the emotion when the parents find out that she's gone. It's crazy. Beautifully sad for sure. Taxman, one of my favorite George songs, starts off the Revolver album. Just a kicking song. That 7 chord with Paul's bass, just kicking it. Just excellent, awesome song. Just everything comes together perfectly in this song. It's got a little rebellious message in it. I don't want to pay you any of my taxes. This is my money. Who doesn't love Twist and Shout, right? It's just a classic Beatles song. One of their best covers for sure. I may have said before how John was sick when they recorded the first album and they had to do the whole thing in 24 hours. They recorded Twist and Shout last. So his voice must have been the most frazzled out of all the other songs, and you can hear it. It's not the classic John screaming. It just sounds like his voice is in tatters, but it really adds to it. It's so good, so cool, so excellent. Here Comes the Sun. It might hold up the best out of any Beatles song in 2024. It's so singable. It could have been released yesterday. I actually did this with my 4th grade this past year for Honors Day. It's a great song, great message, very fun to sing. She Loves You. Obviously, I've saved a lot of the just early Beatles classics for the top of the list. She Loves You, iconic for the whole yeah, yeah, yeah thing. Just one of their early perfectly written songs, one of the songs that really catapulted them into huge success with Beatlemania, Mop Tops, and all that kind of stuff. And I really like the perspective of the song. It's not just boy-girl, but it's someone, a third party, talking to the boy, telling that boy that the girl loves him. She loves you. So it's a very cool perspective in that regard. And you end the song with that 6 chord. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. So cool. I Feel Fine. If you had asked me when I was like 12, 13, what my favorite Beatles song was, I would have said I Feel Fine. And I think I said that mainly because it was like the perfect Beatles song. Everything is done perfectly here. The beginning is a little different with the whole feedback thing. Excellent riff. Dun, 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 dun. You get the great lyrics, John singing, background vocals. You get the really cool, just Memphis type guitar solo in the middle. It's just a perfectly written song. Obviously, it's not my number 1 now, but it's obviously very high on my list. Excellent song. I Saw Her Standing There, one of my favorite early Beatles songs. It's just one of those songs you're like, man, it's just classic. The first time you hear it, like you know when they were recording this, I mean, they had to know this was gonna be just an excellent song. Just perfectly done. We Can Work It Out, just an excellent pop song. Everything is done perfectly, it's catchy. You will notice there is the Paul and the John elements of this song. Paul seems to be a little bit happier, and John seems to be a little bit more on the possibly pessimistic or artistic side when you compare the Try to See It My Way with the Life is Very Short. They both wrote those different sections themselves, and you can definitely hear it. I'm Looking Through You, way up at number 13. It's just one of those deals where there's certain songs they did that were just another song, but they were so good. And that's what this is. I just love the guitar and the melody, just everything about this song. Just a great example of how the Beatles put so much effort into almost every song they ever recorded. Yesterday, just so classic. Just he's pouring his heart out. He longs for yesterday because yesterday, everything was great. They were in love. Everything was perfect. Then why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Just strings in there. It's kind of in that same category as She's Leaving Home. Paul sings it, you got the strings, beautifully said. When I'm 64, as you can tell, I love beautifully crafted songs. This is a beautifully crafted song. Obviously, it's that old style, like 1920s type vibe Paul did with a few songs. And everything is just put together so perfectly in this song with the lyrics. It's a great example of how a song doesn't have to be a typical pop type song to be an excellent song. And I think he actually wrote this when he was like 14, writing what he thought life would be like when he was 64. Obviously, it was not like this for him, as he was still touring the world as a legendary billionaire. Paperback Writer, such a kicking song. Just the guitar and the lyrics. It's one of those songs where when I heard it, I was like, man, I've got to learn all the words to this. It's just, you just want to learn all the words so you can sing it. The topic of the song is kind of mundane. It's about a person who writes books, but the way Paul presents it, it's so great. Just everything from the bass to the guitar to the vocals, everything is done so well. Just a great kicking, rocking song.